Purim Sameach. I'd like to express an idea about Purim that's really based on the writings of our Hachamim, of our rabbis. Our rabbis tell us that when the Jewish people accepted the Torah at Sinai, it was accepted forcibly. That God kafalem har kigigit, they held the mountain over their head and forced them to accept the Torah. And it was kiyemu v'kibbelu. It was only on the day of Purim that they accepted the Torah willingly. That's an interesting statement. What does it mean that on Sinai they were forced and on Purim they accepted it willingly? I think what it means is that at Sinai, where there were so many miracles that was happening simultaneously, the Makot, Kriyat Yam Suf, God coming down and appearing to the people at Sinai, it was literally impossible for anyone to reject the Torah. It was so clear to them. So in a sense, it was almost forced on them because of the apparent obviousness of the requirement to accept the Torah. However, at Purim, things weren't so clear. Things were hidden. Purim is called a Nes Nistad. God's name is not mentioned in the Megillah. And we look at what happened, and there seems to be a natural occurrence of events. There's an anti-Semitic minister who attempts to destroy the Jewish people, and through political activism, through connections with the queen in the king's court, the crisis is averted. And yet, the Jewish people understood that when that happens, they attributed it all to HaKadosh Baruch Hu. And they attributed it to the miraculous events, and we create the holiday of Purim. That is the true willing acceptance of the Torah, when it wasn't staring at you in the face. Our rabbis tell us an interesting statement. That a person must, what's called, a drink until the point he doesn't know the difference between Arur Haman and Baruch Mordechai. We will leave the halachic implications of that for a different discussion. Parenthetically, we do believe that appropriate self-control and behavior is mandated by the Hachamim, even on Purim. But I think what the Hachamim are getting at here is telling us something very interesting. That Purim represents the time when we understand that the miracles that are open miracles, the positive miracles that are represented by Baruch Mordechai, and the miracles of the crisis averted, the miracle which tells us that, the miracle that shows us of what didn't happen, those are equally to be celebrated. And in Purim, we always call that the Holocaust that never happened. And when we think about it, that is a great miracle and a great time to celebrate. And so we must understand that God's hands in history, even when it's not apparent, and that is the challenge that Purim gives to us, is to see God's hand throughout our wondrous history and to understand that what brought us here wasn't only the open miracles, but the miracles of God's hand year by year, where throughout our history, He has walked us through and enabled us to survive many difficult times. May we merit in a true Geula when we see open miracles throughout our history to come. Amen.